my child. Stop just for a moment. Stop, not because you are in trouble. No, that is not why I ask you to stop. I ask you to stop because there is something moving right now in the spiritual realm that you cannot see with your eyes. Something that has been shifting for days, for weeks, for months even, and you have been so busy, so tired, so overwhelmed by the noise, so buried under the weight of everything that keeps demanding your attention, that you have missed it. You have missed the sound of the door beginning to open. You have missed the sound of chains that started loosening 3 nights ago while you were lying awake, staring at the ceiling wondering if I could even hear you anymore. I heard you. I heard every single word. I heard the ones you said out loud. And I heard the ones you were too afraid to even whisper. The ones you tucked deep down into your chest because saying them would have made the pain too real. I heard those too. I have not missed a single tear. I have not looked away for 1 second. You think I have been distant. You think I have been distracted by someone else, by someone louder, by someone more worthy, by someone whose faith looks cleaner than yours feels right now. No, that is not who I am. That has never been who I am. And the fact that you believe that about me right now, that is part of the warfare. That is part of the exhaustion. That is part of the heaviness that has been pressing down on your chest every morning when you wake up. The heaviness that tells you that you have been left behind, that you missed your moment, that everyone else received their breakthrough. Everyone else got their miracle. Everyone else heard my voice. And you are just standing here, alone, in the silence, wondering what you did wrong. Let me say this as clearly as I possibly can. You did nothing wrong. You did not pray the wrong way. You did not miss the secret code. You did not fail some hidden test that I placed in your path just to watch you stumble. That is not my nature. That has never been my nature. I am not an ambush. I am not a trap. I am not waiting for you to slip so I can withdraw my hand from your life. I am not standing in heaven with my arms crossed, disappointed in you because you are not further along than you are right now. Put that down. That burden was never meant for you to carry. Someone gave that to you. Someone whispered that into your ear. Someone planted that seed deep inside your heart a long time ago. Maybe it was a parent. Maybe it was a pastor. Maybe it was a friend who spoke about me in ways that made me sound angry and distant and impossible to please. But that is not me. I am not angry at you. I am not distant from you. And I am not impossible to please. I am your father. And you are my child. And nothing can change that. But I need to tell you something right now that is urgent. Something that you cannot afford to ignore. The reason I am speaking to you in this moment, the reason this message did not come to you by accident, the reason you are still reading these words right now instead of scrolling past them, is because you are standing at a threshold, a doorway, a line that you have been standing in front of for longer than you realize. And the enemy has been working very hard to convince you that the door is locked, that the door is sealed, that I have closed it permanently and walked away. But the door is not locked. The door is open. It has been open. The only thing keeping you on this side of the threshold is exhaustion. Pure exhaustion. You are not lacking faith. You are not lacking discipline. You are not lacking some special revelation that everyone else seems to have. You are tired. You are running on fumes. You have given everything you had. And now you have nothing left. And the enemy knows that, which is why he has been whispering a very specific lie into your ear. The lie is this: you can rest later. You can rest tomorrow. Just take a break. Just pause for a little while. Just step back and catch your breath. You deserve it. You have been through so much. You have fought so hard. No one would blame you for sitting down for a season. No one would judge you for taking a step back. Just for a little while. Just until you feel stronger. Just until the fire comes back. And that sounds so reasonable. Does it not? That sounds so compassionate. That sounds like wisdom. That sounds like self-care. That sounds like something any good father would tell his exhausted child to do. But listen to me carefully. That is not me speaking. That is the voice of the thief. Because the thief does not need to destroy you all at once. The thief does not need to make you curse my name or abandon your faith in some dramatic public explosion. The thief just needs you to sit down, right here, right at the edge of the finish line, right at the edge of the breakthrough, right at the edge of the miracle. He just needs you to rest for a moment. And then another moment. And then another moment. Until the fire inside your chest goes cold. Until the urgency leaves your spirit. Until the sound of my voice becomes distant and quiet. Until you stop believing that anything is about to change. That is the most dangerous place in the entire spiritual journey. Not the valley of the shadow of death, not the wilderness, not the season of silence. The most dangerous place is the moment right before the promise manifests, the moment right before the door opens, the moment right before the chains fall off. Because that is the moment when the warfare is the loudest. That is the moment when the exhaustion is the heaviest. That is the moment when everything inside you wants to quit. And that is exactly where you are standing right now. You are standing at the edge of something. You cannot see it yet. Not fully, not clearly. It is still hidden behind the fog, still hidden behind the confusion, still hidden behind all the circumstances that look impossible and all the doors that keep slamming in your face. But it is there. It has been there. And it is closer than you think. But you are so tired. I know you are tired. I know you have been fighting battles that no one else can see. I know you have been carrying weights that no one else knows about. I know you have been waking up in the middle of the night with your heart racing and your mind spinning and your spirit heavy. I know you have been putting on a brave face for everyone around you while inside you are falling apart. I know. I have watched every single moment. And I am not ashamed of you. I am not angry that you are struggling. I am right here. I have been right here, and I am not going anywhere. But I need you to stay awake. I need you to stay alert. I need you to keep your fire burning just a little longer, because what is coming is worth it. What is coming is greater than anything you have lost. What is coming is bigger than every disappointment, every betrayal, every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every sleepless night, every tear you have cried when you thought no one was watching. I was watching. And I am about to show you why none of it was wasted. Do you remember Joseph? Do you remember what he went through? His own brothers, his own flesh and blood. They hated him so much that they threw him into a pit. They sat down to eat dinner while he cried out for help from the bottom of that hole. They sold him into slavery. They ripped his life apart. And then he spent years in a foreign country, years serving someone else, years being faithful in a place where no one knew his name, years keeping his integrity intact, when no one was watching. And just when things started to look better, just when he gained a little bit of favor, just when he thought maybe the nightmare was finally over, he was falsely accused, thrown into prison, forgotten by the one person who promised to remember him, left to rot in a dungeon for years. Years. Do you know what Joseph thought during those years? Do you know what went through his mind when he was sitting in that dark cell, listening to the chains rattle every time he moved? Do you think he understood what I was doing? Do you think he felt my presence every single day? Do you think he never doubted? Never questioned? Never wondered if he had somehow missed his destiny? He was human, just like you. He felt the weight of the silence. He felt the sting of the injustice. He felt the exhaustion of waiting for a promise that seemed to be taking forever. But here is what Joseph did not know. While he was in that prison, while he was forgotten, while he was waiting, I was working, I was moving. I was orchestrating a chain of events that would not make sense until years later. I was positioning a dreamer. I was preparing a pharaoh. I was lining up 7 years of abundance and 7 years of famine. I was setting the stage for the most dramatic elevation in the entire Old Testament. And when the moment came, when the door finally opened, it did not open slowly. It did not open partially. It exploded open. Joseph went from the prison to the palace in a single day. A single conversation, a single moment of divine timing. Do you see it? The prison was not a punishment. The prison was a classroom. The waiting was not a waste. The waiting was a weapon. I was using every single delay, every single disappointment, every single betrayal, to prepare him for a weight of glory that would have crushed the boy who was thrown into that pit. The boy in the pit could not have handled the palace. The boy in the pit would have been destroyed by the power. So I used the pit. I used the slavery. I used the prison. I used every single thing the enemy meant for evil, and I turned it into a furnace of refinement. I burned away the pride. I burned away the arrogance. I burned away the need for approval. I burned away the fear of man. I burned away everything that would have made Joseph an unsafe vessel for the authority I was about to place in his hands. And that is what I am doing with you, right now, in this season that feels like a prison. In this season that feels like you have been forgotten and left behind and passed over. I am doing something that you cannot see. I am preparing you for something that you cannot even imagine yet. But you have to stay in the fire. You cannot climb out early. You cannot quit before the work is finished. Because if you quit now, if you let your fire go cold now, you will miss the moment. You will miss the doorway. You will miss the elevation that has your name written all over it. The enemy knows what is coming. That is why he is working so hard to make you tired. That is why he is attacking your mind while you are trying to sleep. That is why he is filling your thoughts with doubt and fear and confusion. That is why he is bringing up your past mistakes and waving them in front of your face like evidence that you are disqualified. He is not doing that because you are weak. He is doing that because you are close. He is doing that because something is about to break open in your life that will shift the entire trajectory of your future. Do not let him steal it. Do not let him talk you out of it. Do not let him convince you that you can afford to rest right now. Because listen to me carefully. This is not a season for rest. This is a season for endurance. This is not a season for comfort. This is a season for overcoming. This is not a season for stepping back. This is a season for pressing through. I know you are tired. I know you want to sleep. I know you want to feel safe and warm and secure. I know you want the battle to be over. I know you want to wake up one morning and not feel the weight pressing down on your chest. That day is coming. That day is closer than you think. But you are not there yet, and if you sit down now, you will fall asleep in the snow, and you will not wake up until it is too late. That is not me being cruel. That is not me being harsh. That is me being honest with you because I love you, and I will not lie to you just to make you feel better for 5 minutes. The truth is this: many people start the race. Many people begin the journey with fire in their hearts and passion in their spirits. Many people raise their hands and sing loud and declare their faith with bold words. But not everyone finishes. Not everyone endures. Not everyone stays in the fire long enough to see the gold emerge. And the difference between those who finish and those who quit is not talent, it is not intelligence, it is not even depth of faith. The difference is the ability to keep going when everything inside you wants to stop. That is it. That is the secret. That is the narrow gate. That is the path that few find. The ability to take one more step when you have nothing left. The ability to whisper one more prayer when your voice is gone. The ability to believe for one more day when every shred of evidence tells you to give up. That is what I am looking for. Not perfection, not eloquence, not a flawless track record. I am looking for a heart that refuses to quit. A heart that says, I do not understand what you are doing. I cannot see the outcome. But I am going to keep moving anyway. I am going to keep trusting anyway. I am going to keep believing anyway because you have never failed me before and you are not going to start now. That is the heart that moves my hand. That is the heart that shakes the heavens. That is the heart that makes the enemy tremble. Because the enemy knows how to handle a loud Christian. The enemy knows how to handle a gifted Christian. The enemy knows how to handle a successful Christian. Those are easy to track, easy to predict, easy to distract. But the enemy does not know what to do with a quiet Christian who just keeps showing up. A broken Christian who just keeps trusting. An exhausted Christian who just keeps praying. A wounded Christian who just keeps forgiving. A forgotten Christian who just keeps serving. That kind of faith terrifies hell, because that kind of faith cannot be bought, cannot be manipulated, cannot be seduced, cannot be intimidated, cannot be worn down. That kind of faith is forged in the furnace, and that is the kind of faith I am forging in you right now. So do not despise the fire. Do not curse the furnace. Do not waste your pain by asking why over and over again. Ask what instead? What are you building in me? What are you preparing me for? Because I am doing something. I am always doing something, even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when the silence is deafening, even when the calendar pages keep turning and nothing changes. I am working. I am weaving threads you cannot see. I am positioning people you have not met yet. I am opening doors that are still invisible to your natural eyes. I am aligning circumstances in ways that will make your head spin when you finally see the full picture. But you have to stay in the game. You cannot take your ball and go home. You cannot let the enemy sideline you with offense, with bitterness, with disappointment, with the feeling that it is not fair, with the feeling that you deserve better. Because let me tell you something about fairness. If I gave you what you deserved, you would be in a very different place right now. Not because you are evil, not because you are wicked, but because every human being on this planet has fallen short. Every human being has made mistakes. Every human being has wandered off the path. You are not being treated unfairly. You are being trained, and training is not fair. Training is not comfortable. Training is not gentle. Training breaks you down so you can be rebuilt stronger. Training pushes you past your limits so your limits can expand. Training takes you to the edge of your capacity so you can discover that your capacity is not the limit. My grace is the limit. So stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Stop looking at the person next to you who seems to have it easier. Stop envying the one who got the promotion, the one who got the healing, the one who got the restoration, the one who got the breakthrough while you are still waiting. You do not know what it cost them. You do not know what they carried that you cannot see. You do not know what I am protecting you from by making you wait. Maybe the thing you want so badly right now would destroy you if you received it too soon. Maybe the relationship you are begging me to fix would have crushed your spirit. Maybe the opportunity you are crying out for would have led you away from your purpose instead of toward it. Maybe the answer you are demanding would have become an idol in your heart. Maybe the blessing you are chasing would have become a curse because you were not ready to steward it. I am not withholding good from you. I am protecting you from destruction. And one day very soon, you are going to look back at this season, this painful, confusing, exhausting season, and you are going to fall to your knees in gratitude that I did not give you what you asked for when you asked for it. You are going to thank me for the delays. You are going to thank me for the closed doors. You are going to thank me for the silence, because you are going to see that every single thing I did was motivated by love. Every single delay was mercy. Every single closed door was protection. Every single moment of silence was me working behind the scenes to get you something better than you could have ever imagined on your own. But you have to stay. You have to stay in the room. You cannot walk out before the miracle. Do you remember Elijah after the showdown on Mount Carmel? After the prophets of Baal were defeated? Do you remember what happened next? Jezebel sent a message, just one message. And that mighty prophet, the one who had just called down fire from heaven, ran for his life. He collapsed under a broom tree. He prayed to die. He said, "I have had enough. Lord, take my life." One of the greatest prophets in the history of Israel, suicidal, exhausted, defeated, ready to quit. And what did I do? Did I scold him? Did I shame him? Did I tell him to pull himself together and act like a man of God? No, I sent an angel. I made him a meal. I let him sleep. I let him rest. And then I fed him again. And then I sent him on a journey, a long journey, 40 days and 40 nights, to a cave, where I spoke to him, not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a still, small voice. Do you hear me? A still, small voice. That is what I am using right now. I am not shouting at you. I am not shaking the walls. I am not sending thunder and lightning to get your attention. I am whispering. I am speaking in the quiet. I am speaking in the stillness. I am speaking in the space between your racing thoughts. I am speaking in the moment right before you fall asleep. I am speaking in the tears that roll down your cheeks when no one else is watching. I am right there. And I am saying the same thing to you that I said to Elijah. Get up and eat. The journey is too much for you, not because you are weak, but because the journey is long, the road is hard, and you were never meant to walk it alone. You were never meant to carry this weight by yourself. You were never meant to fight these battles in your own strength. Get up and eat. Let me feed you. Let me strengthen you. Let me fill you up again. Because there is more road ahead, there are more battles to fight, there is more ground to take, there is more territory to claim, and you cannot do it on empty. But here is what I need you to understand. The eating, the resting, the being fed by the angel, that is not quitting, that is not stepping back, that is not losing your fire, that is refueling, that is recharging, that is allowing me to pour back into you what the enemy has been draining out. There is a difference between resting in me and quitting the race. Resting in me is intentional. It is purposeful. It is a posture of trust. It is saying, I cannot do this on my own, so I am going to stop striving and let you carry me for a while. Quitting is different. Quitting is saying it does not matter. Nothing is going to change. I give up. I am done. There is no point. One leads to renewal. The other leads to destruction. So check your heart right now. Be honest with me. Are you resting or are you quitting? Because I can work with rest. I can work with exhaustion. I can work with depletion. I can fill empty vessels. I can strengthen weary arms. I can renew tired spirits. I can breathe life into dry bones. But I cannot work with a heart that has already decided that nothing will ever change. I cannot work with a heart that has closed itself off to hope. I cannot work with a heart that has built walls so high that even I cannot get in. And yes, I said even I cannot get in. Not because I lack the power, but because I gave you free will. I gave you the ability to choose. I gave you the ability to lock the door from the inside. And I will not break it down. I will stand at the door and knock. I will knock, and I will knock, and I will keep knocking. But I will not kick the door in. Because that is not love. That is not relationship. That is not what I created you for. So open the door right now. Let me back into the places I have been shut out of. Let me back into the conversations you have been having in your head. Let me back into the fears you have been rehearsing over and over again. Let me back into the wounds you have been hiding behind. Let me back into the disappointments you have been nursing. Let me back into the bitterness you have been holding on to like a shield. Give it to me, all of it. The anger, the resentment, the frustration, the confusion, the grief, the loss, the shattered dreams, the broken promises, the relationships that fell apart, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers. Give it all to me, because you were never meant to carry any of it. I did not design you to hold on to pain. I did not create you to rehearse your wounds. I did not form you to live in the wreckage of your past. You were made for freedom. You were made for joy. You were made for peace. You were made for love. You were made for purpose. You were made for me. And the enemy has been lying to you. He has been telling you that your best days are behind you, that you missed your chance, that you used up your opportunities, that you made too many mistakes, that you waited too long, that you are too old, too broken, too damaged, too far gone. Those are lies. Every single one of them. Do you remember David, the shepherd boy, the youngest, the overlooked, the forgotten? His own father did not even think to call him when Samuel came to anoint the next king. David was out in the fields, taking care of sheep, doing the invisible work, the work no one saw, the work no one applauded, the work no one celebrated. And while he was out there, alone, in the fields, with the sheep, with the lions and the bears that no one knew about, I was watching, I was preparing, I was forging a warrior's heart in secret. I was teaching him how to fight when no one was cheering. I was teaching him how to trust when no one was watching. I was building something in the hidden place that would one day be seen by an entire nation. And when the moment came, when the giant stood up and defied the armies of Israel, everyone else was afraid. Everyone else was paralyzed by fear. But not David. David ran toward the giant, because David had already fought giants in the field when no one was watching. David had already killed lions and bears in secret. David had already learned that the battle belongs to me, and that is what I am doing with you right now. Right now, in the hidden place. Right now, in the season where no one sees you. Right now, in the field where no one is cheering. Right now, when the work feels small and insignificant and invisible. I am forging a warrior. I am building a giant killer. I am preparing you for battles that would have terrified the person you used to be. Do not despise the field. Do not resent the hidden season. Do not curse the small beginnings. Because the people who are truly dangerous in my kingdom, the people who shake the gates of hell, the people who move mountains, the people who see impossible things become possible, those people almost always spent years in the field, years in obscurity, years in the hidden place where no one was watching, years doing the small things faithfully while everyone else was chasing the spotlight. I am not looking for celebrities. I am looking for shepherds. I am looking for people who will be faithful in the small things so I can trust them with big things. I am looking for people who will serve when no one is watching, who will pray when no one is listening, who will give when no one is applauding, who will love when no one is loving back, who will forgive when no one deserves it, who will keep going when everyone else has stopped. That is you. That is who I see when I look at you. Not the person you see when you look in the mirror, not the person your critics see, not the person your enemies accuse, not the person your failures define. I see the person I created you to be. I see the finished product. I see the masterpiece emerging from the fire. I see the warrior rising from the ashes. I see the giant killer standing up. I see the king anointed in secret. I see the prophet being trained in the wilderness. I see the leader being shaped in the shadows. I see the father, the mother, the friend, the spouse, the mentor, the healer, the restorer, the builder, the one who will carry my presence into places that have never known my name. That is who you are. That is who you have always been. And nothing, nothing can change that. Not your past, not your failures, not your mistakes, not your weaknesses, not your fears, not your doubts, not the things you have done, not the things that have been done to you. None of it changes who you are in me, because who you are in me was settled before the foundation of the world. Before you took your first breath, Before you made your first mistake, before you experienced your first heartbreak, I already knew, I already saw, I already made provision for every single thing you would ever face. Nothing has surprised me, nothing has caught me off guard. Nothing has forced me to change my plans for your life. I am not up in heaven scrambling to figure out how to fix the mess you have made. I am not worried. I am not stressed. I am not pacing back and forth trying to come up with a backup plan. I am seated on the throne. I am sovereign over every single detail of your life. And I am working all things together for your good. Not some things, not the easy things, not the things that make sense. All things. The painful things. The confusing things. The things you will never understand this side of heaven. The things that have broken your heart. The things that have shattered your dreams. The things that have made you question whether I even exist. All of it. Every single piece. I am weaving it together into something beautiful. Something that will make you fall to your knees in worship when you finally see the full picture. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust the weaver even when you cannot see the pattern. You have to trust the potter even when the clay is spinning out of control. You have to trust the Father even when you do not understand what He is doing. Because I am not an abusive father. I am not a neglectful father. I am not a distracted father. I am the good Father, the perfect Father. The Father who knows exactly what you need and exactly when you need it. And right now, what you need is not comfort. What you need is not a break. What you need is not an escape from the fire. What you need is endurance. What you need is to see what I see. And what I see is someone who is closer than they have ever been. Someone who is about to break through. Someone who is about to see everything change. Someone who is about to look back at this season and realize that it was the gateway to everything they ever wanted. Do not stop. Please, do not stop. I know you want to. I know you have been looking for an excuse. I know you have been waiting for a sign that it is okay to give up. But I am not going to give you that sign. Because it is not okay to give up. It is not okay to quit. It is not okay to let the enemy win. You are too close to the breakthrough, too close to the door opening, too close to everything changing. Just a little further, just a few more steps, just a few more prayers, just a few more tears, just a few more nights of holding on when everything inside you wants to let go. And then you will see why I let you go through this. You will see why I did not answer sooner. You will see why I let the silence stretch on so long. You will see why I allowed the enemy to push you so hard. Because I was preparing you for something that required this level of preparation. I was building something in you that could only be built this way. I was forging a character that could only be forged in this fire. I was teaching you things you could only learn in this darkness. And when you finally step into the light, when you finally walk through that door, when you finally receive what I have been preparing for you, you will not take it for granted. You will not throw it away on selfish ambition or temporary pleasure. You will steward it with the same faithfulness you have shown in the hidden place. Because that is what the fire produces. Faithfulness, integrity, humility, wisdom, compassion, endurance, all the things that make you safe to bless. All the things that make you able to carry weight without breaking. All the things that make you a vessel I can pour through without the vessel cracking under the pressure. Do you think I gave Joseph the palace because he was talented? Do you think I made him the second most powerful man in Egypt because he was good at interpreting dreams? No. I gave Joseph the palace because he had been faithful in the pit, faithful in Potiphar's house, faithful in the prison, faithful when no one was watching, faithful when it would have been easier to compromise, faithful when every circumstance screamed that I had abandoned him. Joseph proved that he could be trusted with nothing, so I trusted him with everything. And that is what I am doing with you. Right now, you are in the nothing season. The season where you have very little. The season where you are being trusted with almost nothing. The season where no one knows your name and no one is applauding your efforts. But you are proving something. You are proving that you can be trusted. You are proving that your character is being forged in secret. You are proving that your faithfulness is not dependent on your circumstances. You are proving that you love me for who I am, not just for what I can give you. And that proof is precious to me. It matters more than you know. Because there are people coming into your life, people who need what you have been given, people who need the wisdom you have gained in the fire, people who need the compassion you have developed through suffering, people who need the strength you have found in weakness, people who need the hope you have discovered in despair. And if I gave you everything right now, you would not be ready for them. You would not have the tools you need to help them. You would not have the authority you need to serve them. You would not have the credibility you need to speak into their lives. I am not just building you for yourself. I am building you for others. I am building you for a generation. I am building you for an assignment that you cannot even comprehend yet. So do not waste your suffering. Do not let your pain be pointless. Do not go through this fire and come out the same person you were when you went in. Let the fire do its work. Let the heat burn away the impurities. Let the pressure crush the things that need to be crushed. Let the darkness teach you things you could only learn in the dark. And trust me with the process. Trust me with the timing. Trust me with the outcome, because I have never failed you. Not once. Not ever. Even when it felt like I had, even when you could not see my hand, even when you were convinced that I had abandoned you. I was there. I was working. I was weaving. I was preparing. I was protecting. I was providing. I was holding you up when you did not even know you were falling, and I am going to do it again. I am going to do what only I can do. I am going to turn this around. I am going to make a way where there is no way. I am going to open doors that no one can shut. I am going to silence every voice that has spoken against you. I am going to vindicate you in front of everyone who doubted you. I am going to restore everything that was stolen from you. I am going to heal every wound that has been inflicted on you. I am going to redeem every single thing that has been broken in your life, not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, not because you said the right prayers or attended the right church or gave the right amount of money, but because I am good, because that is who I am, because I cannot be anything other than good. And I have good plans for you, plans for peace and not for disaster, plans for a future and a hope, plans that are bigger than your imagination, plans that are better than your dreams, plans that will leave you breathless and weeping with gratitude. So do not give up. Do not give up when the night is long. Do not give up when the silence is deafening. Do not give up when the enemy whispers that you are finished. Do not give up when your friends walk away. Do not give up when the money runs out. Do not give up when the marriage falls apart. Do not give up when the children rebel. Do not give up when the business fails. Do not give up when a dream dies. Do not give up, because death is not the end. Death is the beginning. The seed has to die to become the harvest. The old you has to die to become the new you. And right now, something is dying in you. Something that needed to die. Something that has been holding you back. Something that has been keeping you small. Something that has been keeping you stuck. Let it die. Do not resuscitate it. Do not cling to it. Do not try to save it. Let it die, because on the other side of that death is resurrection. On the other side of that death is new life. On the other side of that death is everything you have been waiting for. But you have to go through the death to get to the life. You cannot skip the crucifixion to get to the resurrection. The stone has to be rolled away, but before the stone can be rolled away, the body has to be placed in the tomb. And you are in the tomb right now. It is dark. It is cold. It feels like the end. But Sunday is coming. The stone is going to move. The light is going to break through. The grave is not going to hold you. Death is not going to win, because the same power that raised Jesus Christ from the dead lives inside you, and that power is about to be unleashed in your life in a way you have never experienced. Do you believe that? Do you really believe it, or have you just been saying the words without letting them sink into your heart? Because belief is not just mental agreement. Belief is action. Belief is what you do when everything around you says there is no reason to hope. Abraham believed, even when he was old, even when Sarah was barren, even when it was impossible, he believed, and his belief was counted to him as righteousness. David believed, even when the giant was 9 feet tall, even when the armor did not fit, even when everyone told him he was going to die, he believed, and Goliath fell. Daniel believed, even when the lions were hungry, even when the den was sealed, even when the king could not save him, he believed, and the lions' mouths were shut. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego believed. Even when the furnace was heated 7 times hotter, even when the flames killed the soldiers who threw them in, they believed, and I walked with them in the fire. Mary believed, even when she was a virgin, even when it made no sense, even when she risked everything, she believed. And the Word became flesh. Peter believed, even when the wind was howling, even when the waves were crashing, even when every instinct told him to stay in the boat, he believed, and he walked on water. Thomas believed, even when he doubted, even when he demanded proof, even when he needed to touch the wounds. He believed, and he saw me and you. Right now, you are being asked to believe, not because the evidence is overwhelming, not because everything makes sense, not because the path is clear, but precisely because none of those things are true. You are being asked to believe in the dark, to trust when you cannot see, to hope when there is no reason to hope, to hold on when everything in you wants to let go. That is faith. That is the faith that moves mountains. That is the faith that pleases me. That is the faith that unlocks heaven. And that is the faith that I see rising up in you right now. I see it. I see the flicker of hope that you have been trying to protect. I see the tiny ember of faith that you have been shielding from the wind. I see the small voice inside you that keeps whispering, maybe, just maybe, he is still good. That is me. That flicker is me. That tiny, stubborn, unreasonable hope is me. And I am not going to let it go out. I am going to fan it into a flame. I am going to blow on that ember until it becomes a fire. I am going to turn that tiny mustard seed of faith into a tree so large that the birds of the air will nest in its branches. You think you are weak. You think you are insignificant. You think you have nothing left to give, but you are wrong. You are a lion in a cage. You are an eagle with clipped wings. You are a warrior who has forgotten how to fight. And I am about to remind you. I am about to remind you who you are. I am about to remind you whose you are. I am about to remind you of the fire that still burns beneath the ashes. Because it is still there. It has always been there. It has just been covered, buried, hidden beneath the weight of disappointment and fear and failure and rejection. But it is still there. And I am going to uncover it. I am going to blow away the ashes. I am going to reveal the fire that has been burning all along. And when I do, when you see it, when you feel it, when you remember, you are going to rise, you are going to stand up, you are going to shake off the dust, you are going to walk out of that tomb, you are going to open that door, you are going to step into everything I have been preparing for you, and you are going to look back at this season, this painful, confusing, exhausting, heartbreaking season, and you are going to realize that it was the best thing that ever happened to you, because it brought you here, it brought you to this moment, it brought you to the edge of everything changing, and you did not quit. You held on. You endured. You believed. Even when it was hard. Even when you could not see my face. Even when you could not hear my voice. Even when every sign said to give up. You held on. And I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you, my child. My beloved. My warrior. You have no idea what is coming. You have no idea what I am about to do. You have no idea how close you are, but you are about to find out. Just hold on a little longer. Just one more step, just one more prayer, just one more day. Because the sun is about to rise, the door is about to open, the chains are about to break. The answer is on its way, and when it arrives, when it finally arrives, you are going to know. You are going to know that I was with you every single step. You are going to know that I never left you. You are going to know that every tear was seen. Every prayer was heard. Every moment of waiting had a purpose, and you are going to fall on your knees, not in defeat, not in despair, but in worship, overwhelmed by my goodness, overcome by my faithfulness, speechless at my timing. And you are going to say the words that every faithful heart says when they finally see what I have done. You are going to say, He was with me the whole time. He never left me. He never forgot me. He never gave up on me. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful that I did not give up. You are going to say that very soon. Now get up. Get up, my child. The journey is not over, but the hardest part is behind you. I promise you, the hardest part is behind you. Now walk. Walk through the door. Walk into your future. Walk into everything I have for you. Because I am right here. I have always been right here. And I am not going anywhere. Neither are you. Neither are you. You are still here. You are still listening. That matters more than you know, because most people would have walked away by now. Most people would have closed this window and scrolled to something louder, something faster, something that promised them a quick fix and a 5-minute solution to problems that took years to create. But you did not do that. You stayed. Not because you are perfect, not because you have some special level of discipline that everyone else lacks. You stayed because something deep inside you recognizes something deep inside these words. Something that feels like home. Something that feels like the voice you have been trying to hear through all the static and noise and chaos of your life. That is me. I am the one who kept you here. I am the one who closed every other distraction just long enough for you to hear this sentence. Not because I am controlling you, not because I am overriding your free will, but because I know what is waiting for you on the other side of this message. I know what is about to break open in your spirit if you will just stay with me for a few more minutes, and I am not willing to let the enemy steal that from you. Not today, not when you are this close. So breathe. Just breathe for a moment. Let the tension in your shoulders release. Let the knot in your stomach loosen. Let the racing thoughts in your mind slow down just a little. You do not have to perform for me right now. You do not have to have the right words. You do not have to pray the perfect prayer or confess the perfect sin or promise the perfect commitment. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine when it is not. You do not have to hide the doubt that has been creeping in at the edges of your faith. You do not have to silence the questions that keep you awake at night. I am not afraid of your questions. I am not threatened by your doubts. I am not offended by your anger. I have been with you through every single one of those emotions. I have watched you wrestle. I have watched you cry out. I have watched you shake your fist at the sky and ask why. Why this pain? Why this loss? Why this silence? Why does everyone else seem to be moving forward while you are stuck in the same place, fighting the same battles, crying the same tears? I have heard every word. And I am still here. I am not hiding from your anger. I am not running from your doubt. I am not silencing your questions. I am right here in the middle of all of it, waiting for you to realize that I am not the one who has been moving away from you. You have been moving away from yourself. You have been moving away from the truth of who you are. You have been moving away from the fire that I placed inside your bones before you were born. And that is what we need to talk about right now. The fire. The fire that you think has gone out, the fire that you are sure has been extinguished by years of disappointment and decades of delay, and wave after wave of circumstances that have beaten against your soul like a relentless storm. You think the fire is dead. You think the embers have turned to cold ash. You think there is nothing left inside you to ignite. But you are wrong. You are so wrong. And I am about to show you why. Do you remember Moses? Do you remember what he was doing when I first spoke to him? He was not in a temple. He was not in the middle of a revival or a worship service or a gathering of the faithful. He was in the wilderness. He was alone. He had been alone for 40 years. 40 years of silence. 40 years of anonymity. 40 years of tending sheep in the middle of nowhere while the people he was meant to deliver suffered under the weight of slavery. 40 years. Think about that. 40 years of waiting. 40 years of wondering if he had missed his moment. 40 years of questioning whether the calling he felt as a young man had been nothing more than youthful arrogance and naive ambition. 40 years of watching the sun rise and set over the same empty hills. 40 years of wondering if I had forgotten him. 40 years of wondering if he had dreamed the whole thing. And then, one day, a bush that was on fire but not burning up. A bush that should have been consumed but was not. And Moses turned aside to look. That is the part I want you to notice. Moses turned aside. He was not looking for a miracle. He was not expecting a supernatural encounter. He was not praying for a sign. He was just walking, just existing, just surviving another day in the wilderness. But when he saw something that did not make sense, something that caught his attention, he turned aside. He stopped walking his predetermined path. He stopped assuming that every day would look like the day before. He stopped letting the numbness of routine dictate his response to the supernatural. He turned aside, and that is what I am asking you to do right now. Turn aside from the path you have been walking, the path of exhaustion, the path of assuming that nothing will ever change, the path of believing that the fire is dead and the miracle is not coming and the promise has expired. Turn aside, because there is a burning bush in front of you right now. You cannot see it with your natural eyes. Not yet. But it is there. I have placed it in your path. A moment of divine interruption, a moment of holy disruption, a moment that does not fit the pattern of your ordinary days. And if you turn aside, if you stop, if you look, if you listen, you are going to hear something that changes everything. You are going to hear my voice, not in the way you have been begging to hear it, not in the dramatic, unmistakable thunder from heaven way that you have been praying for. You are going to hear me in the quiet. In the stillness, in the moment when you finally stop running and stop striving and stop trying to figure everything out on your own. You are going to hear me say your name, just like I said Moses' name, twice. Moses, Moses. And in that moment, Moses knew. He knew that he was standing on holy ground. He knew that something had shifted. He knew that the 40 years of silence had not been punishment. The 40 years of waiting had not been wasted. The 40 years of obscurity had not been meaningless. They were preparation, they were pruning, they were purification. And when the moment came, when the time was exactly right, when Moses had been emptied of everything that made him think he could deliver his people in his own strength, I spoke. And a bush burned, and a shepherd became a deliverer, and a fugitive became a leader, and a nobody became the man through whom I would display my power to the most powerful empire on earth. Do you see it? The very thing that seemed like the end of Moses' story, the 40 years in the wilderness, the exile, the obscurity, the silence, that was not the end. That was the beginning. That was the setup. That was the training ground. That was the place where I stripped away everything that would have made Moses a liability instead of an asset. And that is what I am doing with you right now. In this season that feels like exile, in this season that feels like silence, in this season that feels like you have been buried alive while everyone else is living their dreams, I am preparing you. I am emptying you. I am stripping away the self-sufficiency that would have destroyed you if I had answered your prayers 5 years ago. I am burning away the pride that would have turned the blessing into a curse. I am breaking the dependence on human approval that would have made you a slave to the opinions of people who do not even know their own hearts. I am doing something in the hidden place, and it is almost finished. But you have to stop fighting the process. You have to stop begging me to take you out of the fire before the work is complete. You have to stop trying to climb out of the wilderness and find your own way back to Egypt. Because Egypt is not the answer. Egypt is not your home. Egypt is the place of slavery disguised as comfort. Egypt is the place where the food is familiar but the chains are heavy. Egypt is the place where you can have what you want but you lose who you are. I did not bring you out of Egypt just to watch you go back. I brought you out of Egypt to take you to the promised land. But the wilderness is the only road that leads there. There is no shortcut. There is no detour. There is no bypass. The wilderness is the path. And you are in the wilderness right now. You have been in the wilderness for what feels like forever. You are tired of the manna. You are tired of the same view every morning. You are tired of wandering in circles. You are tired of feeling like you are getting nowhere. You are tired of the heat and the dust and the endless waiting. But here is what you do not see. Every step you have taken in the wilderness has been ordered by me. Every camp you have pitched has been chosen by my hand. Every delay has been purposeful. Every closed door has been protection. Every moment of confusion has been leading you toward clarity. And the pillar of fire that led you by night, it has never gone out. You think it has. You think the light has dimmed. You think the fire has died. But the pillar is still there. You have just stopped looking up. You have been staring at your feet for so long. Staring at the dust. Staring at the rocks. Staring at the obstacles in your path, that you have forgotten to look at the cloud, the fire, the glory that has been guiding you every single step. Look up. Right now, look up. Do you see it? Not with your physical eyes, with the eyes of your spirit. Do you see the pillar? Do you see the fire that has never gone out? Do you see the cloud that has never dissolved? It is still there. It has always been there. And it is leading you somewhere. You are not wandering. You are not forgotten. You are being led. And the reason the journey has been so long is not because I am cruel. It is not because I am slow. It is not because I do not care about your timeline or your pain or your exhaustion. The journey has been long because I am preparing something for you that requires this much preparation. The promise is bigger than you think. The destiny is heavier than you realize. The assignment is more significant than you can comprehend. And if I had brought you there 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even last year, you would have been destroyed by it. Not because you are weak, but because you are not ready. Because the weight of what I am calling you to carry requires a level of character that can only be forged in the wilderness, requires a depth of dependence that can only be learned in the desert, requires a humility that can only be grown in the soil of waiting. So do not curse the wilderness. Do not despise the waiting. Do not resent the process. Embrace it. Surrender to it. Let it do its work in you. Because on the other side of the wilderness is the promised land. On the other side of the waiting is the fulfillment. On the other side of the silence is the voice. On the other side of the fire is the gold. And you are closer than you have ever been. I need you to hear that. I need you to really, truly hear that. You are closer than you have ever been. Not further away, not lost, not behind schedule, not disqualified. Closer, closer than you think. closer than the enemy wants you to believe. The enemy has been lying to you about your progress. He has been telling you that every step forward is actually a step backward, that every prayer is hitting the ceiling and bouncing back unanswered, that every tear you have cried has been wasted on a God who does not care, that every sacrifice you have made has been pointless because you are never going to see the harvest anyway. Those are lies, every single one of them. Your prayers have not been wasted, your tears have not been ignored, your sacrifices have not been forgotten. I have collected every single one. I have stored them in bottles before my throne. I have recorded every sleepless night in my book. I have noted every moment you chose obedience over comfort, every time you chose faithfulness over the easy path, every time you chose to believe when believing felt like the most foolish thing you could possibly do. I have seen it all, and I am about to reward it all, not because you earned it, not because you performed well enough, but because I am a good father, and good fathers do not forget the faithfulness of their children. Good fathers do not ignore the sacrifices of their beloved. Good fathers do not let the enemy have the final word over those who have trusted in my name. The reward is coming. The answer is coming. But you have to hold on. You have to hold on when everything in you wants to let go. You have to hold on when the pain is sharpest and the night is darkest and the silence is loudest. You have to hold on when every voice around you says to give up. Because the holding on is not passive. The holding on is victory. The holding on is the very thing that unlocks the door. Do you remember Jacob? He wrestled with me all night long. He refused to let go. His hip was out of joint. His strength was gone. He had nothing left, but he would not let go. He said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." That is the kind of desperation I am looking for. Not polite prayer, not religious ritual, not hollow repetition of words you do not mean. Desperation. The kind of desperation that says, "I do not care how long this takes. I do not care how much it hurts. I do not care what it costs me. I am not letting go until you bless me." That is the prayer that moves my heart. That is the faith that moves my hand. That is the posture that breaks through every barrier. And that is the posture I see rising up in you right now. Not because you are strong, because you are weak. Not because you have it all together, because you have nothing left. Not because you are confident in your own ability, because you have finally realized that your own ability has brought you exactly nowhere. That is the place where I can work. That is the place where my power is perfected. That is the place where the impossible becomes possible. You have tried everything else. You have tried striving. You have tried performing. You have tried earning. You have tried fixing. You have tried controlling. You have tried manipulating. You have tried every human strategy in the book. And none of them have worked. None of them have brought you the breakthrough you have been begging for. Because breakthrough does not come through human effort. Breakthrough comes through surrender. Breakthrough comes through letting go. Breakthrough comes through admitting that you cannot do this on your own and falling into my arms. And that is what I am asking you to do right now. Fall. Let go. Stop trying to hold yourself up. Stop trying to keep it all together. Stop pretending that you are fine when you are falling apart. Fall into me. I will catch you. I have always caught you. Every time you have stumbled, I have been there. Every time you have fallen, I have been underneath you. Every time you thought you were going to hit the ground, my hand was there to hold you up. I have never let you fall, and I am not going to start now. So fall into the safety of my love, fall into the truth of my goodness, let go of the illusion that you have to figure everything out before you can rest. Let go of the lie that you have to be worthy of my love before you can receive it. Let go of the pressure to perform and produce and prove yourself. You have nothing to prove to me. I already know everything about you. I know the darkest corners of your heart. I know the secrets you have never told anyone. I know the thoughts you are ashamed of. I know the failures you have tried to bury. I know the sins you think are unforgivable. And I love you. I love you, not in spite of those things, not in a grudging, reluctant, barely tolerating you kind of way. I love you with a ferocious, passionate, relentless, unconditional love that has no limits and no ending and no fine print. There is nothing you can do to make me love you more. There is nothing you can do to make me love you less. My love for you is not based on your performance, it is based on my nature. And my nature is love, so stop running. Stop hiding. Stop trying to clean yourself up before you come to me. Come to me dirty. Come to me exhausted. Come to me confused. Come to me angry. Come to me doubtful. Come to me just as you are. I will not turn you away. I have never turned you away. Every time you have felt distant from me, it was not because I moved. It was because you believed the lie that you were not welcome. You believed the lie that you had gone too far. You believed the lie that my patience had run out. You believed the lie that you had used up your last chance. Those are lies from the pit of hell. My patience has not run out. My mercy has not expired. My love has not grown cold. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. And yesterday I was forgiving. Today I am forgiving. There is no sin too deep for my forgiveness. There is no failure too great for my redemption. There is no wound too deep for my healing. There is no chain too heavy for my breaking. I am the God of the impossible, and I am about to do the impossible in your life. You have to stop trying to help me. You have to stop trying to figure out how I am going to do it. You have to stop trying to create your own breakthrough through your own effort. You have to let me be God. You have to let me work in ways that do not make sense to your human mind. You have to let me use methods that you would never have chosen. You have to let me move in timing that feels wrong to your calendar. Because my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My timing is not your timing. I see the end from the beginning. I see the full picture. I see the chain of reaction that your breakthrough is going to set off in the lives of people you have not even met yet. You only see right now. You only see the pain. You only see the closed doors. But I see everything, and I am telling you, right now, with the full authority of the Creator of the universe, that what you are waiting for is closer than you think. It is not months away. It is not years away. It is not decades away. It is right there, just on the other side of this moment, just on the other side of this prayer, just on the other side of this decision to trust me one more time. Do not let the enemy talk you out of it. Do not let him show you the evidence of your circumstances and convince you that nothing is changing. Circumstances are not truth. Circumstances are temporary. Truth is eternal. And the truth is that I am working. The truth is that I am about to do something that will leave you breathless. You cannot see it yet, but that does not mean it is not happening. The seed is underground. You cannot see it growing. But it is growing. The roots are spreading. The shoot is pushing toward the surface. And soon, very soon, that seed is going to break through the soil and become something beautiful. You are that seed. You have been buried. You have been in the dark. You have felt the pressure of the soil all around you. You have wondered if you would ever see the light again. But the dark is not your enemy. The soil is not your enemy. The pressure is not your enemy. The dark is where the seed comes alive. The soil is where the roots take hold. The pressure is what pushes the shoot toward the surface. You are not dying in this dark place. You are being born. Something new is being formed in you. Something that could only be formed in the dark. Something that could only be created through the pressure. Something that could only emerge after the season of burial. And when you break through, when you finally see the light, when you finally feel the warmth of the sun on your face again, you are not going to be the same seed that went into the ground. You are going to be a plant, a flower, a tree, something that bears fruit, something that provides shelter, something that testifies to the power of resurrection. That is what I am doing with you. I am resurrecting you. I am bringing you back to life, not the life you had before. That life is dead. It needed to die. It was killing you. I am bringing you into a new life, a better life, a life that is more aligned with who I created you to be than anything you have ever experienced before. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust the dark. You have to trust the soil. You have to trust the waiting, because the waiting is not empty. The waiting is full. Full of my presence, full of my preparation, full of my love. You think you are alone in the waiting. You are not. I am right here with you. I have never left you, and I am not going to leave you now. So do not give up. Do not give up when the morning comes and nothing has changed. Do not give up when the sun sets and you are still in the same place. Do not give up when the calendar pages turn and the breakthrough has not arrived. Do not give up when your friends celebrate their miracles and you are still waiting for yours. Do not give up when the enemy whispers that you have been forgotten. Do not give up when your own heart tells you that it is hopeless. Do not give up, because hope is not a feeling. Hope is a decision. Hope is choosing to believe that I am who I say I am, even when everything around you says otherwise. Hope is choosing to trust that I will do what I said I would do, even when every deadline has passed. Hope is choosing to stand on my promises even when the ground beneath you is shaking. And that is what you are doing right now, even if you do not feel it, even if you cannot see it, even if every fiber of your being is screaming at you to quit. You are still here. You are still listening. You are still hoping. That is not nothing. That is everything. That is faith. That is the faith that moves mountains. That is the faith that pleases me. That is the faith that will see you through to the other side. So hold on. Hold on to hope. Hold on to love. Hold on to me. Because I am holding on to you, and I will never, ever let you go. Do you remember Peter? When he stepped out of the boat, when he walked on the water, he was doing the impossible. He was defying the laws of nature. He was walking where no human had ever walked before. And then, he looked at the waves. He looked at the wind. He looked at the circumstances. And he began to sink. Not because the waves were too high, not because the wind was too strong, not because the water was too deep. He began to sink because he took his eyes off of me. The moment he looked at his circumstances instead of looking at me, he started to go down. And that is what has been happening to you. You have been looking at the waves. You have been looking at the wind. You have been looking at the impossible circumstances that surround you on every side. And you have been sinking. You have been drowning in fear, drowning in doubt, drowning in discouragement, drowning in despair. But listen to me. I am saying the same thing to you that I said to Peter. Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid. I am not standing on the shore watching you drown. I am right there in the water with you. My hand is extended. Grab it. Take it. Do not let the waves convince you that you are alone. Do not let the wind convince you that I am not there. Do not let the circumstances convince you that I have abandoned you. I am right here. My hand is right here. Take it, and I will pull you up. I will pull you out of the water. I will pull you out of the doubt. I will pull you out of the despair, and we will walk back to the boat together. But you have to take my hand. You have to stop trying to save yourself. You have to stop believing that you can fix this by trying harder. You cannot. You have tried. You have failed. And that is okay. That is more than okay. That is exactly where I want you. Because when you finally admit that you cannot save yourself, you become savable. When you finally admit that you cannot fix yourself, you become fixable. When you finally admit that you cannot heal yourself, you become healable. I am the Savior. I am the Restorer. And I am waiting for you to stop trying to do my job so I can do it for you. So let go. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the need to understand. Let go of the need to figure everything out. Let go of the need to fix everything that is broken. Let go of the need to save everyone who is drowning. Let go of the need to be strong enough, smart enough, good enough, worthy enough. Let go of all of it and let me be enough. I am enough. I have always been enough. And I always will be enough. For you, for your family, for your future, for your problems, for your pain, for your past, for your failures, for your fears, for everything. I am enough. So rest. Rest in that. Rest in me. Not the rest of quitting. Not the rest of giving up. Not the rest of walking away. The rest of trust. The rest of surrender. The rest of knowing that the one who holds the universe in his hands is holding you in his hands, and he is not going to drop you. I am not going to drop you. And I am not going to start now. So rest. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And rest. You do not have to have all the answers today. You do not have to solve all the problems today. You do not have to fix all the relationships today. You do not have to figure out the future today. You just have to rest in me and let me be God. That is your only job right now. Just rest. And let me work. Because I am working. I am always working, even when you cannot see it, even when you have stopped believing it. I am working, and I am about to show you what I have been working on. Something beautiful, something redemptive, something that will make every tear worth it, something that will make every sleepless night worth it. You are going to see it soon, very soon. So do not give up. Do not give up 5 minutes before the miracle. Do not give up one step before the finish line. Do not give up one breath before the breakthrough. You are too close to turn back now, too close to let the enemy win now. So stand up one more time, brush off the dust, lift your eyes, and take the next step. Just one step, that is all I am asking for. One step. And then another. And before you know it, you will be walking. And then running. And then soaring, because that is what I do. I take the weary and I make them strong. I take the weak and I make them powerful. I take the broken and I make them whole. I take the dead and I raise them to life. And that is what I am doing with you. Right now, in this moment, Something is shifting, something is changing, something is breaking open. Can you feel it? Can you feel the shift? Can you feel the chains loosening? Can you feel the door beginning to open? It is happening. After all this time, after all these tears, after all these prayers, after all this waiting, it is happening. So do not miss it. Do not miss it because you are too busy looking at the waves. Do not miss it because you are too tired to stand up. Do not miss it because you have stopped believing that it could ever happen for you. It is happening for you right now. Open your eyes, open your heart, open your hands, and receive what I have for you. Because what I have for you is good. What I have for you is more than you can ask or imagine. What I have for you is worth everything you have been through. And it is yours. It has always been yours. You just had to go through this to be ready for it. And now you are ready. Now you are ready. So take a deep breath and step forward. I am right here. I have always been right here. And I am not going anywhere. Neither are you. Neither are you.